Hey everybody, I'm rebuilding the top end on a big block Chevy here. This is a Gen 6 Chevy, so it's the Vortec motor, and head gasket blew, so I've got the top end apart. I'm actually going to do a cam upgrade and a bunch of stuff, but it had been a while since I had messed with one of these without doing a full rebuild, and so I was looking for ideas on YouTube about the best practices to keep the motor clean while you're you know, taking it apart and getting it clean so that you can put it back together. And I was rather appalled that some of the dominant most highly viewed stuff out there on YouTube suggests that you're using various types of abrasive to clean the gasket surfaces and tops of the pistons, the upper cylinder wall, above the top ring. And first off, I just have to say that abrasive is extremely hard, and it will come off of the sandpaper or the Scotch-Brite pads. Whatever you're using, even if you're using one of those wheels that goes on a die grinder, whatever that, all of those have got an aluminum, can't remember what it's called, but it's got a very, very, very hard abrasive approaching the hardness of a diamond, and it will get down in between the ring and the piston, if not right down the top next to your lifters, etc. But it's definitely going to get down between the top of your piston and your cylinder wall above your first ring, and it's going to just sit there and live. But anyway, I got no help and no refresher information from YouTube whatsoever, and I just went after it with what I remembered from previous experience and common sense, and I discovered something using common sense that may not be very well known. I'm just going to do this cylinder right here and talk as I do it. First I'm going to lubricate it a little bit because I don't know what's down there, but I can guarantee you there's no abrasive. But you know, it could be other debris other than silicone, because when you pull those heads off, you don't know. So we're going to bring it up a little. In theory, even this could leave micro scratches if there's something in between the rings, but it's lubricated, and we're doing the best we can. We're doing it one time here. So
talk louder.
So now it's not that critical to get all this carbon off, but the carbon will pretty much dissolve anyway with fuel or any of the cleaners that we're using. I just sprayed some WD-40 in there, and even that will kind of dissolve it. So this carbon shouldn't be anything hard, and I'm not gouging. We're not taking any metal off here. And like I say, this is not really a critical step, but it feels nicer to be working with an engine that's a little bit cleaner before you reassemble it. Now, it might be necessary if there was a ton of carbon, but this was a quite clean engine actually. So I mean, this is just a basic scraper, razor blade. It's too fragile to scratch the top of the deck, and it's sharp enough to get everything off that you need. And at the end of the day, you know, there's a lot of surfaces that aren't really sealing anyway. Okay, so that's basically as clean as we're going to get it. I'm not going to bother with anything more. We're not that, well, there's a little bit of carbon up here. To deal with that, I'm going to hit it with some brake cleaner, and that may dissolve some of it, and what doesn't dissolve I'm going to leave, because I can't be hurting the engine with an abrasive. Seems like it's mostly on this one side here, so I'm going to focus over there. It may not look like it, it's still going to be dark, but it is coming off substantially. Hope the audio is coming out okay. We've got a lot of rain coming down right now, and my shop is not that well insulated, so it makes a lot of noise. Alright. Okay, so that's as clean as the top of the cylinder is going to get. Okay, so the problem remains that we most certainly have dumped some kind of debris down in between the piston and the cylinder wall above that first ring. We don't know what's in there, and it very likely is something that is gonna leave some damage before it finally gets its way out. So what I discovered is, and this is handy because I just recently closed a business and I have a bunch of obsolete business cards, but what we're gonna do is we're actually gonna clean that gap with a business card, and I have no idea whether there's anybody else on the planet that does this, but I cannot see any potential for harm to be done this way. So this is what I've been doing, and it seems to be working. So you decide for yourself. So I kind of lubricate things here with some WD. These business cards are just about the right size. In fact, I have to rock the piston a little bit in order to get it to go. And I can actually see that there's some carbon down there that snuck in. So anyway, you can stick it in and then you can just work it around. That's binding, and I think I need to rock it a little. A bunch of stuff floating here, so I'm going to actually just trap it against that card. Pull the card out. But you're going to have some staining, but if you look closely, you'll see that there's actual debris getting pulled out. Yeah, there's some debris on there yet, so I guess we need to keep working at it. But it's getting cleaner. And this is, again, I think a lot of people would just throw heads back on it and never even attempt to get this clean. But you're helping yourself if you do. Card's coming apart. Anyway, I think you get the idea. It's a way that you can really get these clean again before you put it all back together, rather than rolling the dice on whether you're going to drop something in there and leave it in there that tears your motor up before it finally bounces out and goes out your exhaust pipe. So just wanted to share that because I've never seen anything like it before. And if there are better ways to clean that specific thing, I sure haven't seen anything on YouTube. So, but if you come away with nothing else, don't use Scotch-Brite on your gasket seal surfaces. Not smart.